Okay, so next we're getting to, as I said, nomination of a guardian. Why would you need that? Say you've got a medical power of attorney and it's limited, and or for whatever reason the hospital says, before we can give her nursing home care, I want more than just this. Authorities have that right. Not that they do it that often. It's not my experience that they often, when there's a power of attorney, they require a guardianship. But say they did. So you, and your friend, your trusted soulmate comes to probate court, does a petition for guardianship, and on the petition the judge asks, are there any advance directives? And you say yes, and you attach it. As you can imagine, when a judge looks at what each of us did when we had capacity, and it matters a lot. So the judge is very much going to do everything possible to honor your choice. Here's your chance to tell that judge, should that happen, who your choice is. It could well be the same person you name as your agent. Your choice. Here's where you put that in. Okay? So that's part one. And just to review it real quick, who do I name? You can name more than one. Who do I name if those one or two don't? You put your options next. Then what is their authority? Is it broad? Is it narrow? That was number two. Number three, when does it become effective? Does it become effective now or at a later date? If you want a later date, say what that date is. And then the next is basically their obligation is to follow my wishes. That's so the agent reads it. No, they have to follow their wishes. And next is, if I need to name a guardian, who do I want? Okay, simple. Next is end of life. The living will section, that's part two. Again, it's real simple. We all fall into two categories. Do we want our life to be prolonged when we're in a vegetative state, or do we not? If we do, we don't check the first one, choice not to prolong life. Make sense? If instead you would choose, I choose to prolong life, which is B, which says, for those of you who don't have a copy, I want my life to be prolonged as long as possible within the limits of generally accepted healthcare standards. We cannot judge who has the better decision on this. Everyone gets to decide for themselves. If you happen to choose to not prolong your life, that's as respectable as if you decide to have your life prolonged as long as it makes medical sense. If you choose to not prolong, the next question is, do you want nutrition and hydration? Nutrition is, I'm not a nurse, but nurses have come to these workshops, and basically it's giving you the vitamins, and it's giving you, and hydration is giving you the water. If you want that, that's separate and aside from morphine, which is what is the common pain reliever that seems to be pretty common now for people who are not going to have their life prolonged, and it's just a matter of easing the pain through their passage. But basically, if you want nutrition and hydration, check that off. What I've heard, I used to tell clients, I think it's a good idea. I love water. Give me water. Give me water till my last moment. Since I was in an airport once talking to a hospice person, and he informed me, no, we're like plants. When our bodies want to die, when our organs want to shut down, they don't want water. Just like plants. When you notice your water plant doesn't take the water anymore, it's because it doesn't want water anymore. So, your choice. Important discussion with somebody. Hopefully you all can have it with somebody. What do I want? Do I want to not have my life prolonged? And do I not want nutrition and hydration? And do I only want morphine? You get to say, this document, these main documents walk you right through it. I see one swallowed yawn over there. That's a very good sign. Okay, next is relief.
Actually, a swallowed question.
Oh, okay.
Because it seems like there's lines right under relief from pain. It seems like that's an opportunity for us to talk with our healthcare providers about other circumstances around relief from pain.
Okay.
Because I know I'm a communicator.
Okay.
And I want pain relief to be removed so that I can see if I'm going to come up to communicate. And
Okay.
I talked to my healthcare provider
Okay, let me repeat that. So basically, the question was, we go through the questions of choice to prolong or not to prolong the life. If you choose not to prolong, do you want artificial nutrition and hydration? And now the next is relief from pain, which I talked about as morphine. And what the question is about is there's lines underneath where people can fill in, and the questioner is saying that she's had a chance to talk with her doctor, saying not necessarily, not so fast, that before I be given, say, morphine or whatever it is, the palliative that they give people, that they wait to see if she has an opportunity to get her words back and can participate in that decision. You get to fill in what you want. It says here under 8, relief from pain, and it goes on to say, except as I state in the following space, I direct that treatment for alleviation of pain or discomfort be provided at all times, even if it hastens my death, unless, and then here's your chance to say, what this questioner is saying is she has spoken with her doctor, and she says, wait a minute, not so fast, give me a chance to try to see if I can come to a little bit more and I can participate more in this decision about when it is you decide to give me pain relief. And I think the premise, what she's indicating is once we get pain relief, it might hinder our ability to communicate. We don't know, I don't know, we have many, we don't get there till we get there. It might be worth talking to people who understand what these pain relievers do in terms of limiting your communication skills. But again, you're here tonight, you're watching out online, you're willing to focus on the issue of the importance of getting your papers in order, and that means you're going to have the conversation, and I say bravo. Bravo, you took the first step, and may the momentum continue. Bravo. Too many people don't do this. Really appreciate you being here. Okay, lastly, it's number 9, other wishes. You may not have other wishes, may not be able to think of other wishes, or maybe in the conversation you think of other wishes and you decide to put it down. Okay, are we good with that? So again, to repeat, this is the living will section. It's part 2. It's whether you want to prolong life or not. And if you don't want to prolong life, do you want hydration and nutrition? And then also, do you want pain relief? And when do you want pain relief? You get a chance to say when you want it. Make sense? Okay, good. Next, we're getting, I think, to donation of organs. So let's just summarize this real quick. It's one page. It's really easy. It's basically, do you want to donate your organs? If so, which organs and to what cause? Okay? Could be, you've had great eyes. Everyone in your family never wore glasses. Could be that, I'll give my eyes. And what do you want? Do you want to give it to another person? Do you want to give it for research? This walks you through. So it says, I give all my organs for any purpose, or I give specific organs for specific purposes such as, and it lists it for you. So you can check off transplant, therapy, research, education. Okay, that's easy, done. Everyone good with that? Good. Also, it's on our licenses, I think. There was one question earlier in another group. Well, if it's in our license, if it's Department of Motor Vehicle knows about it, isn't that enough? And I say, you know what? Sometimes I don't know, but I know that if right after we die, there's some time issue related to how quickly they get the organ out of us, if I can be blunt, that maybe the fact that the doctor has this right in hand, right, because you have an agent, you've done your paperwork, is going to be quicker than getting the information out of Department of Motor Vehicle. I don't know, but my guess is you've moved it forward. If that's what you want, your wishes could be granted more quickly when it matters more to your wishes, to basically get something to a person you want to help. People are smiling. Okay, next is primary physician. This is optional. Do I want to name my primary physician, or do I want to say, any physician at the emergency room I happen to be at? If you're more comfortable naming your primary physician, here's your chance. You get to say whatever you want. One of the options is, if the physician I have designated above is not willing, able, or reasonably available to act as my primary physician, I designate the following physician. And it could be any physician in the emergency room at that hospital. And that would be your way of saying, somebody, I'm doing this document because I want fast action honoring my wishes. Your option. You are the owners of this document. You have all the rights. You don't need to give any of these rights away. Or you can give a little of it away at a future date. Or you can, if you have somebody you can trust, then you can give all of it away right away, knowing that that person you're going to talk with and they won't exploit that opportunity. Okay? You're the one blowing this trumpet, if I can keep on calling that.
So you can put down just any physician on this?
You're whoever you want.
I mean, your primary may not be available to even speak with.
Right, and in which case you'll study the options, saying, well, if he's or she's not available, then, my thought would be either another physician or someone in the practice where you go, or any physician available. If they're, so finally we're going to get to the ending, the signing and the witnessing. This medical power of attorney, you simply need to sign, and I heard something that you didn't need witnesses, but why not have witnesses? Because it's like arming, it's making it stronger. You don't need to have it notarized though. So just follow the form. I think, so basically it says, I skipped this, but it says 12, effective copy. A copy of this form has the same effect as the original. That's right out of the statute. Next is signatures. You sign, you put your name, you print, you put your address, and then you have 1 or 2 witnesses. People say, can I have, there's another yawn, 2 yawns, good, that means you're thinking. Good, have another cookie. Can you have somebody who you've named as agent as your witness? Yes, you can. If you worry that people might challenge whether the person had a gun to your head when they were signing, you were doing it under duress because they were wanting you to do it, choose somebody else, get a neutral. Another thought is, I think these are very formal occasions. So don't be informal about the signing. Don't say, could you pass the ketchup, and well, before you do that, could you just sign as a witness right there as all the the food's being passed around. Give it, because it's serious, it's your wishes, and just give it the seriousness of, after supper, I want you to do this. I'll have it set up on the table. I'd like you to just witness that I've done it. Witnesses never have to know what you've said. They just are witnessing that you know what you're doing. Okay, so they're saying, yep.
But they don't have to read.
No, it's not their business. Their only business is to say, I was there, I asked a few questions, or I was around, I knew her, yeah, she's competent. Oh yeah, there wasn't any issue of competency here. Okay, yes?
After having had several surgeries, it seems to me every time I've gone through one, they've brought one, something like this, for me to sign and fill out. Now, it could be in several different hospitals. Where are these things floating around to? Could they be contradictory to what my final one is here?
That's an excellent question. The question is, this fellow has had several surgeries, and he's been asked to sign several documents. And what if those documents are still floating around in the contradictory? What you could do to get around that is add a line that says, I've signed several documents. Wherever they are, I revoke all of them. These are my wishes. Okay. Okay, so we've done it. 1, 2, 3, 4. One is naming your agent and the when and what powers, when the powers become effective and what powers you give them. Next is your living will. That's part 2, about prolonging life or not. And then if you want nutrition or hydration. And then about the pain relief in any other direction. Next is your organs. What do you want to give away to what kinds of entities? That walks you through. You just check off. Or you don't do any donation of organs. You choose. And lastly, do you want to name a physician? All your option. You get to make it as broad as you want, this document, or as narrow as you want. And once you get it, you just sign it and get 2 witnesses and make many copies, glove compartments, luggage, doctors, educators, whatever. Okay? Any other questions? Simple, right? Right. It's just a matter of tackling it. And you took the first step today by either getting online to watch this video or being here. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate your getting going on these documents. It's just, it's something we all put off way too much because we think we don't want to ask for help. We'll always be well, we'll never die. No, it's not reality-based. We will probably need help at some point in our lives, and we get to live the rest of our lives once we get this done, knowing it's done. Maybe you should review it every February just to say, is this really what I want? And the conversation, I'm going to say again and again, the conversation is some of the most meaningful conversations. And that solemn moment, in addition to the solemn moment when we do this, but the solemn moment when somebody has to is acting on our behalf, either in a easy way, like at the doctor's office when we can't talk, or at a more serious, solemn way when we're dying. That anything you can do to help prepare people for that moment, to act as honorably for you. I think that meaning in life comes when we act honorably for others. That is something that we want to be able to rise to the occasion to. You give them that opportunity if you help them. If you do this document, you have the conversation with them.